Now here we've set up the parameter for 4D timelining. So now we want to turn up the level of detail in the model. It's an LOD 200 model, but we can very quickly turn up the level of detail either by inserting, more detailed structural modeling or MEP modeling, or we can actually get into the layers of construction. So if I go into, well, let's leave in this view to start with. I'm just going to save this. I'm going to save as project, and I'll start by calling this LOD 300. And in order to remember which is which, I'm going to call this architectural model. So we remember it's architectural. So I'm just going to save that. Okay, so I'm going to select this this wall type here, and I can do that even if it's in a group just by tabbing through until I get the wall itself. And once I've done that, I can come up here and create parts. So it creates parts of this specific wall, but I want to actually change all the walls of this type. So let's go in here and select it, and I'm just going to press select all instances in project and create parts. So there we go. It's just giving us a warning that we've already created parts in this element here. So once we've created the parts of the model, we can see that these are individually selectable. But this will allow us to schedule the structural part separately from the insulation part, separately from the cladding part, and so on. Now, it would be nice if we could select this cladding part, for example, right-click and select all instances. But since we have a divided into parts, this functionality doesn't work anymore. It's all grayed out. So, in order to select the different parts, we need to set up view filters. And view filters are one of those extremely useful things that you use in practice to organize the information in the project. So the next part of this is setting up view filters. Okay, so we want to set up a filter so that we can see these parts individually. So I come over here to visibility and graphics overrides, edit that. And I come over here to the filters tab. So I want to add a new filter to this view here. So let's just add this filter. So I'm going to make a new rule-based filter. So new, and let's just call it. We're going to have to do it for every layer in the wall. So let's start by doing the structural layer. So new filter, and I'm going to call it structural layer. Then we get the opportunity to define the rules, and it's going to be a parts filter. So let's come down here and choose parts, parts, and then we can choose the filter rules. So I want to filter by material, and we want to see nothing but the structural material. So we can say equals concrete lightweight precast, but we actually want to delete everything else. So, well, at least in the viewpoint. So I'm going to say not equals, does not equal concrete lightweight precast, and apply that filter and press OK. And OK. So let's add this filter to the view. So I add the filter, structural layer. Okay. So now the filter will filter the view in such a way that it selects those particular things we've assigned to it, but we have to give it a way of treating it. So I'm going to say where it selects everything, we're just going to come over here and override what the visibility. There we go there. So everything that is not called that material, which was lightweight concrete will now be removed from the view. And there we go. So it's only kept those parts that that we've assigned to the filter there. Now, once we've done that, we can select those parts. So if I just draw a selection box around the entire building here, and then filter, check none, and then add parts back into the view, press OK. You can see that we just have the parts I've set up are selected. So once we've done that, we can give that a timelining parameter. So because it's an architectural model, I'm going to call this A, and then underscore, and then I'm just going to assume that we're going to call all the structural elements. Let's just do it by level. So let's say we're on level residential 1, so let's just call it 1, and we'll call this 110. So everything to do with the structure is now set to 4D timelining parameter A1110, apply. And then once we've done that, we can go back in and set up the filters again for the next type of part. So we go back into Visibility Graphics Override, Filters, add a filter, and then I want to set up a new one. And this time around, all we need to do is duplicate the one we have here. So I just press this button here, duplicate, and let's just duplicate it again and duplicate it again. So this one I'm going to rename. So I'm going to call this one insulation. There. This one here I'm going to rename, and I'm going to call this cladding layer. And this one here I'm going to rename, and I'm going to call this internal finish layer. And press OK. So let's just go back into it. So internal finish layer, we're just going to change this value to the gypsum plasterboard and apply. For the cladding layer, we're going to change the material to the glass fiber reinforced, and cladding layer, glass fiber reinforced, press OK, and then edit new again. Cladding layer, glass fiber reinforced, insulation layer, we need to change that to bad insulation. And press OK. Sometimes it allows you to apply it, sometimes it makes you press OK. So let's just double check it. So we have cladding layer, glass fiber, insulation layer, steel studs, which is also bad insulation, and so on. Internal finish layer, gypsum plasterboard, and then a structural layer, which is concrete, lightweight, precast. So we have all those filters set up. Now we can modify the view here. So we're just going to remove this filter, and I'm going to add a insulation layer filter. That's OK. Apply. And now you can see that it's just the insulation layer. So I'll do this job again. Select the whole thing, filter, check none, select parts, apply. And you can see that we just have the insulation layer selected. And the 4D timelining I'm going to give to that, I'm just going to call it 120. These are not in any particular order. I'm just giving numbers that have, 9 or 10 numbers between them, so we can add other things afterwards if we have to. So apply. We do the exercise again. Override, filters, remove this filter, add a new filter, and this time around I'm going to add the cladding layer. Apply. And can see the cladding is now being illustrated. Select the whole thing, filter, check none, check parts, apply. And once we do that, we can call this one 130. Last time I called it A130, didn't I? Apply. Okay, so the last one then is we need to set up the gypsum layer. So I go to filters again, remove, and then add the internal finish layer. Okay. Apply. Okay. The gypsum plasterboard is now illustrated. We can select the whole thing, filter, check none, parts, apply. And now we can call this one A140. Now you can see that I left out the A for the insulation layer. So let's just do that again very quickly. Filters, remove this one, add the insulation layer filter, okay, switch off the visibility, it's okay, select the whole thing, filters, check none, parts, okay, and now we can select them all and give it the correct reference, A120, apply. So at the moment I've given all the elements the same reference, the same time reference, but you can split them up into, for example, if we're dealing with the insulation layer, 120, 121, 122, and so forth. If you want to be more precise in terms of the construction process when we get to the timelining, because that is the way to timeline according to locations in the plan view, because the standard timeline just runs horizontally, level by level, but often you might want to timeline other elements of the model in a different kind of a way. But the important thing is that we've now set up a parameter for the project, which means that every element of the project has a four-dimensional parameter that we can then come back and modify, or we can attach to a timeliner in Navisworks by using automatic rule attachments.